Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. So today I am going to do the Istanbul BookTube Tag, which was created by Jim at Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, and he vowed that this would be his last tag. I am hoping that is not the case. I hope that after this long hiatus since he created this, he has had new ideas bubble up in his noggin, and that he is going to take another stab at creating a tag. That said, it's a brief tag, and I was much enjoying hearing everybody's version of the tag when it was going around. I will link Jim's video in the description box, and if you just Google something like Istanbul tag, you'll see all of the variations come up. So the first question is, Istanbul has many names. Which do you prefer? Well, had I been asked that even a year ago, I probably wouldn't have had much of an answer. I had no particular feelings toward Constantinople. However, in the last year or so, I've been reading an awful lot of Stephen Runciman. And so now I have a soft spot for the name Constantinople. In Runciman's preface to this book, he has a note on the transliteration of names. I'll read you the whole thing. I cannot claim to any consistency in my transliteration of names from Greek or Turkish. For Greek names, I have used whatever seems to me to be the familiar and natural form. For Turkish names, I have used a simple phonetic spelling, except when I am citing words in modern Turkish, for which I use modern Turkish spelling. I have called the conquering sultan by his Turkish name of Mehmet, not Muhammad or Muhammad. I hope that my Turkish friends will forgive me for calling the city about which I write Constantinople and not Istanbul. It would have been pedantic to do otherwise. Obviously, if I am talking about the city of today, I would say Istanbul. I am going to Istanbul tomorrow. That was just an example. I am not going to Istanbul tomorrow. Number 2, Orhan Pamuk won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2006. Have you read any books by an author because they had won the prize? I think that is a yes. Now, last year I read The Gulag Archipelago by Solzhenitsyn, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, but I did not read that because he had won the prize, though I believe he did. But many years ago, I read a book which was a very slim volume, probably away somewhere, which was the speech which Solzhenitsyn gave to the Nobel Committee or whomever. Upon winning the prize, the winner tends to give a speech. I believe they are all available up at the website of the Nobel Prize, wherever that may be. But I did read that, and I read that because he had won the prize and because it was said to have been a good speech. I don't remember it very much now. I probably should revisit it. Number 3, have you visited Istanbul? Yes, I have. I can't pinpoint a date for that. Suffice it to say that sadly it was before I had done any reading about Istanbul, about Constantinople, about the history whatsoever. So I was not in a good position to appreciate much of the history that lay everywhere before my eyes. I would love to go back. I remember the Bosphorus, and I remember the vague geography. I remember passing the tower that Mehmet built as a precursor to the sacking of Constantinople. At the time, I had no idea what the significance of any of that was. I would like now to be able to go back and see, oh, this is this, there is the Golden Horn, which I have read about. That's where they had the chain across the way. And there's the hill over which they carry the ships, that kind of thing. It would be delightful to be able to go back and look at all of that now. Alas, I probably will not be going back. I have come to realize that traveling is nice and reading is nice, and when you can combine the two, they are nice. And really the best thing would be to travel and read, travel and read. So, number 4. Have you read a book set wholly or partially in Istanbul, or have you seen a film set in Istanbul? Probably seen something like a James Bond or what's the guy's name? Tom Cruise movie that would probably had some scenes there, or I was going to say or Roger Moore, but that's already covered with James Bond. But as far as reading a book, yes, I have. I can't remember which one, but one of the Mrs. Polyphac's adventures was set in Istanbul. One of the first 4, because I only read the first 4 books. She wound up getting married to some old gentleman that she met on the tour, and after that, the series kind of took a nosedive for me. So I never read beyond that 4th book. Number 5, have you read a book that mentioned the Armenian Genocide? I would bet that I have. I tend not to remember what I read. I just pulled this out because I said, surely Frankopan has to have mentioned it, but I could not find it in the index at all. I know, though, that I have encountered it both under the name Armenian Genocide and also both just under some sort of description of the events without using that phrase. So I will not tag anybody because I think most everybody has done this tag. However, if you are interested in this tag and would like to do it, I will put the prompts into the description box below. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.